Stay away from that.
How has the combine experience treated you thus far?
Yeah, it's been really good. It's been cool to meet a bunch of people and get to know some faces around the class and meet a bunch of really good football players. Had a lot of fun and got to meet a lot of people, so it's been good.
What have they asked you about as far as your transition you made last year? It obviously helped you out a lot.
Yeah, the transition was absolutely critical for me, and they've commented on that and kind of wondered why that was and how that occurred, and answered a lot of questions about that for sure.
Luke, was this what you envisioned when you came back to school, or were you coming back for another reason?
Yeah, this was definitely part of it, right? I wanted to come back because I felt like I, could better myself and become a better football player, and I certainly did that. And I also helped Kentucky win 10 games. So for me, that's two birds in one stone for sure.
Was it always the intention to play center when you came back, or did you think originally you were going to stay at guard?
Yeah, that was something Coach Stoops and I talked about, and I said, I'd love to come back and play center, and I said, if I'm awful at it, I'll go back and play guard for you, but I'd love the chance, and he full-heartedly agreed, and it worked out pretty well for both of us, I'd say.
Do teams say we like you at center or we like you at guard? Do they get specific in that regard?
Yeah, they comment that I look better at center in terms of film and the way I've played, and they said I project as a center with a guy who can move to different positions and play both guards and line as well.
Running that offense with Liam helped prepare you running a pro style, being the guy right in the middle doing all that?
It helped me tremendously. I can't imagine being here without Liam Cohen's offense, to be honest. It translates so well, and being able to throw around terms that he's used and he's taught me has been super helpful for me.
How do you handle adjusting from different positions and not just the technique wise, but also studying and understanding things?
Yeah, it's tough sometimes. The hardest part for me is definitely the chemistry of playing next to a different person. You practice all week next to one person, and then something happens in the game, and next thing you know, you're playing next to the left tackle or the right tackle. And, it's a tough transition for sure, but just trying to get as many reps as you can and watching film from different perspectives is how you accomplish that.
Hey, Luke, what are as you go into this process now, what are the expectations you have for yourself, and projecting that forward to getting into somebody's training camp? What do you need to do?
Yeah, for me, test well here this week, and then continue to work hard and work out these next few months, and I believe I'm going to come into a training camp and perform pretty well for myself.
And the versatility, talk about that. How important that'll be.
Yeah, it's super important. You can be a guy who, when they travel 7 alignment to a game, you can play 3 of the 5 positions. For me, that's something I'm very proud of and hope to continue.
What was the toughest thing about this past year, making that transition? Was it just
Yeah, for me, it was just the mental part of the game. Mentally, a lot more on your plate, a lot more communication you have to have, and a lot more film preparation you have to do as well.
The guy who you replace is now coaching. Have you had a chance to talk to him about that yet?
Yeah, absolutely. He's been helping me out a lot. He's been coaching me up. Had big shoes to fill. I hope I came close. He's going to be a great offensive line coach. I'm really excited for him.
So who's next in that center pipeline for Kentucky now?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. I think Eli Cox is going to have a shot at it. I think he's a great player, hometown legend, hopefully. I think he's going to do a really good job.
Have you had a chance to meet Dallas yet?
Yeah, I had an informal interview with Dallas.
Did they tell you whether they do good center or guard?
Yeah, center for sure.
If this is a stretch, feel free to say so. But engineering, does that help you at all with leverage and thinking like that?
I like to tell teams, I know exactly how every block should be performed, right? I know exactly where you should be, how you should do it. Sometimes I struggle to do it myself, but I have an idea of what everything should look like. So
You're getting your master's in May, right?
correct.
You're one master's.
So I have a master's in aerospace engineering, and then I'm finishing my MBA in May.
Okay. What is you had that you worked with Toyota, I read. Was that like a massive project of like 50 students involved in doing this, or what was the scope of that?
Yeah, so there were 5 students involved from the engineering school, Toyota, UK Healthcare, and UK Football. and it was a really cool experience. We got to learn from some Toyota engineers, and they helped us put it all together and kind of taught us how things should go together. So that was a really cool experience.
Why engineering? Are your parents math people, or what? What is that?
My dad thinks he is, but
Okay.
no, I just came to school. I was good at math and science, and had no idea what I wanted to do, and that's where I ended up.
Playing Georgia, does that feel like with the studs they have up and down the line? Do you feel like you're more prepared for the NFL? You're going to see every one of those guys?
Yeah, there's some incredible players on that defense. Guys like Kobe Dean, guys like Devontae Wyatt. They're tough dudes to block. So being able to say, go watch my film against Georgia and have it be, I made some mistakes, but I believe it's good film otherwise. So that's a good point for me, I believe.
What's it like trying to leverage Davis?
It's fun. It's a challenge every play, no doubt. You got to bring it every play.
We talk a lot about the big blue wall and kind of Sharman's legacy. What does it mean to have guys? I don't think there was a lineman draft at UK for 10 years or something, and to consistently have guys show up here at the combine. How does that speak to what Sharman's legacy is?
Yeah, it just speaks to the fact that every day he preached hard work, and every day he lived what he preached. And I'm sure he'd be very proud of us all.
What did you make of the controversy about Coach Wolford leaving? What was kind of your take on all of that?
Could you repeat the question?
What was your take on all the controversy about Coach Wolford and the way he left and all that went down?
Yeah, I don't know the exact details of that one. I heard there was a pay raise involved, so I kind of stay out of the politics on that one. But Coach Wolford and I are still close, and we talk, and he helped me get to this point, and I'm very thankful for him.
Darian talked
Media types that I talked to about possible fits as a Miami Dolphins with a wide zone scheme is Luke Fortner. What is it about a wide zone scheme that you think you would excel in?
Yeah, I think I have good quickness off the ball. I think I'm a smart player. I think being in Liam Cohen's offense last year has been really helpful for me.
Darian talked about feeling like the shackles were off a little bit. He could be a little bit more free with himself. Do you feel that like you can show off more of your personality now, or is that something you?
My personality's always been boring. It's not going to change. Yeah, for me, I think my strengths are being a consistent player. I think regardless of the opponent, regardless of the score, I'm always going to be the same player. Always have been, always will be, and I think that's my biggest strength.
Coming from a team that ran the ball a lot, how's your development in pass blocking?
Yeah, it's come a long way, right? There was a time where Lynn Bowden was our quarterback, and we didn't pass the ball very much. So my pass blocking skills from then until now have come a long way, and they need to continue to develop. And thankfully, like I said, with Liam Cohen's offense last year, we passed the ball quite a bit more, so that was very helpful.
With Liam's offense, there was all talk about the wide zone, and you guys didn't do that a ton last year. Why do you think that was, and what's the key to developing that part of it?
One more time.
What's the key to developing the part of that wide zone that maybe you all didn't run as much as we thought you were going to last year?
Yeah, I think the key is just reps, right? He came in the spring, and everyone on the offense is, learning new formation, new plays, just trying to get all that down mentally. And so then to tweak it physically is a tough thing to do. So I'm excited to see what they do this year now that they, got all the mental stuff down and can focus on the details physically.
Meet with Buffalo yet?
Yeah, I think, the easy answer, Jason Kelsey's with the Eagles. Just an incredibly explosive guy, athletic guy, finishes blocks, gets to the second level well. Really like watching this film and trying to play like him. Yeah, I have talked to the Eagles, and I've mentioned that I like watching them for sure.
Buffalo, meet with Buffalo?
No, I did not do that, thankfully. Thankfully, I stayed away from that.
Buffalo, meet with them yet?
No, I don't believe I've met Buffalo yet.
Have you met with the Bucks?
Not formally. I can't remember if I did informally.
Have you talked with the Rams since Liam got there?
No, I have not.
There are some teams that need a center. There are some teams that need a center or guard and tackle, and sort of rebuilding the whole offensive line. Is there any part of that would intrigue you to go and sort of being on the ground floor of a rebuild offensive line?
One more time.
To being on the ground floor of a rebuilding offensive line rather than coming in as set starters.
Oh yeah, to be honest with you, anywhere I go, I'll be very excited, very happy, and I think it'd be cool to be on the ground floor there. I think that'd be a really cool opportunity to make my name and build an offensive line up from the ground. That'd be an awesome opportunity.
Would you prefer a cold weather city or a warm weather city?
I'm not answering that question.
What will Eric Wolford bring out?
I mean, he's going to bring intensity and passion. He's going to get them right. How's that? If you had any doubts last year, you won't have any doubts this year.
Did you talk to the Giants?
Yeah, I have talked to the Giants.
Formally?
Not formally, no.
Have you spoken with the Steelers in a formal meeting?
No.
Who have you spoken with formally?
Speaking with the Jaguars this morning.
How would you feel about reuniting with Josh?
There was a time where Josh Allen, to say it nicely, kicked my ass. So it'd be nice to go see him again for sure.
If you're listed as a character guy, does that kind of go with the position of center? You know, that linchpin to the group?
Yeah, I think so. I think as a center, you have to have the trust of the offensive line, and they have to believe that you're putting them in the right position and in the right place to make a play. So I believe it goes hand in hand.
I assume you were talking a bit with Drake, throughout the season. Were there tips? What was he telling you throughout the year, as he was kind of watching you, get used to it?
Yeah, he was just, telling me about the process, how it was going to go, and, with the Senior Bowl and the interviews and, what went well, what didn't go well for him, what to do, what not to do. So he's been really helpful for me, and he helped me run through some drills and whatnot. Now he's the new GA at Kentucky, so he's been embracing the role for sure.
Luke, you talked about Eli, but what about some other young offensive linemen who are going to have to fill in those holes? Who should we be watching for this spring?
Yeah, I really like John Young and Jagger Burton. I think John Young's come a long way. I think he's going to have an opportunity to get some reps for us, and Jagger Burton. I think you might see him here someday. That's for sure. And then the two freshmen, Grant Bingham, Keontae Goodwin, both are going to be good players for us. Whether that's next year or 3 years from now, I think they've got the foundation to be some really good players.
Is Young a guard or a tackle?
He's kind of in between at the moment, mostly guard though.
For a basketball school, you guys are putting a lot of guys in the league right now. What's really changed?
Yeah, Coach Stoops. Coach Stoops is the answer. He's the reason we're all here, and he's put us in the position to be successful. Gotten us some great coaches, some great coaching staff, and got us some great facilities, and now we're here.
When for you did the NFL become reality?
Yeah, really this past my 6th year, my COVID year. I came out of my 5th year and wasn't really in the position I wanted to be. And so I, took it upon myself to come back and work with Coach Edmond, Coach Hill, the strength staff, and put myself in a position to be here.
Is that the sole reason for coming back for that 6th year?
We were getting a new offense coordinator, and I wanted to see how 10 wins felt again. So I came back to help him do that as well.
Have you tough times in college?
Yeah, well, I got some advice to stay in college as long as I can. So.
Have you talked to Zach Yinzer, the new offensive line coach, yet? Have you met him?
Yeah, I've talked to Zach Yinzer a lot. Great guy. The guys all love him. They've all had good reviews of him, and he seems to be a guy who has similar values of Coach Schlarman. I've heard some good reviews from coaches around here, saying how great of an offensive line coach he is as well.
Have you met with Buffalo Bills?
No.
Hey Luke, Brandon Turner. Could you talk a little bit about your transition from guard to center and why you feel like you transitioned as well as you did? And did you get any tips from Drake Jackson at all on that, watching his film? Is there anything that you picked up from him?
Yeah, the transition from guard to center wasn't too tough. There's mentally a lot more on your plate, but in terms of physically, it wasn't too bad. And Drake Jackson helped me tremendously. I got to watch him for 4 years play the position at a really high level, so the transition was easy for me, and he helped me out a lot.